All right, so back in lesson 5, we learned how to use the zero product property to solve quadratic equations. Remember that solving means find the values of x that make the equation true. Well, over the next couple of lessons, you're actually going to learn 2 additional ways to solve quadratic equations that don't involve factoring. There's actually 2 other methods that we have that allow us to solve, but don't require that you factor. So the first one is called the completing the square method, and we're going to examine the completing the square method for both solving, and then in a later lesson, we're actually going to use it to get some key features of the graph. So let's take a look here. So I'm being asked to solve x squared minus 8x plus 32 equals 20. So like you learned in zero product property, we would take the 20 and we'd move it over to this side, we'd factor and we'd proceed that way. We're actually going to go a completely different way this time. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to move C, let's say move C away from A and B. So here's what I mean by that. Our A here is 1, our B is -8, and our C term would be 32. What we're actually going to do is we're actually going to move that away. So we're actually going to move 32 to the opposite side of the equal sign by using inverse operations. And so that gives us x squared minus 8x equals -12. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2 is going to be complete the square. Okay, so and what I'm going to put here is I'm going to put a note that says add b over 2 squared to both sides. Okay, so to complete the square, we need to do a little scratch work. We need to take b, divide it by 2, and square it. So in this case, that would be -8 divided by 2 squared. -8 divided by 2 is -4. -4 squared is 16. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add 16 to both sides. Okay? So the next thing is we need to, I'm going to say, well, it's actually factoring, I guess. So yeah, I mean, I guess this does kind of include factor, but it's not what you think. It's going to be actually pretty easy. If you do this step right here correctly, then this is always going to be a perfect square trinomial. And what that means is you can actually write this as something squared. On the right-hand side, I'll just do the -12 plus 16, that equals 4. If you take your b term and split it in half, you get -4. You could put that right here like this, okay? X minus 4 squared would be x minus 4 times x minus 4. You don't have to write this part down, but I just want to show you this on the side. X minus 4 squared would be x minus 4 times x minus 4. And if you were to multiply that out using either the area method or using double distribution, you would end up with x squared minus 8x plus 16, which is exactly what I have here. So what I've done is I've factored it, and if you do this part correctly, if you add the correct b over 2 squared, then you're always going to end up in a situation where the two factors are exactly the same, and so you can write it in this way, x minus 4 squared. The last step is I'm going to write split and solve. Okay, so watch these last steps here. I'm trying to get x by itself. So in order to undo this squared that I have now, what I need to do is I need to take the square root of both sides. On the left-hand side, the square root and the squared, they undo each other, and I'm left with just x minus 4. And on the right-hand side, I have the square root of 4. And then what I need to do is, again, I'm trying to get x by itself, so I'm going to add 4 to both sides. And the way you write that is x equals 4, this 4, plus or minus, because when you take the square root of something, there's a plus and a minus. There's a positive and a negative when you take the square root of something. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this into the plus and the minus that you see here. So what I have now is I have x. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do 4 plus radical 4, which is 6, and 4 minus radical 4, which is 2. Remember, quadratics have 2 solutions. And that's what that looks like. So let's try this one more time, and we're going to do it this time we're going to explore another aspect of this. The real reason why we have this completing the square method, and also the method that you're going to learn in the next lesson, is because they allow us to deal with quadratics that have irrational solutions. Remember, irrational means non-repeating, non-terminating decimal. Okay, so something like pi. Okay, it doesn't repeat and it doesn't end. That would be irrational. Okay, let's go through our steps again. We can go through them a little bit quicker now. So the first step is to move c away. So I'm going to add 10 to both sides. That gives me x squared plus 6x equals 13. Next step is to complete the square. So I'm going to do my scratch work here, b over 2 squared. In this case, b is 6. So that's 6 divided by 2 is 3, and 3 squared is 9. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides. Okay, next step is to factor. On the left-hand side, all I have to do is take half of b, which is 3. And that's going to work here. X plus 3 squared is going to give me this. And on the left-hand side, I have 13 plus 9, which is 21. Take the square root of both sides. That leaves me with x plus 3 equals the square root of 21. And now subtract 3 from both sides. And so I get x equals negative 3 plus or minus radical 21. And the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to split off. And we'll round this to the nearest tenth. So I've got my calculator now. On the plus side, I'm going to type in negative 3 plus radical 21. And that gives me 1.6 if I round to the nearest tenth. And on the minus side, I'm going to do negative 3 minus the square root of 21. And that gives me negative 7.6 if I round to the nearest tenth. And there are my two solutions. So this is the completing the square method. I have 6 examples for you on the practice. Please practice, use the answer key to see how you're doing, and then submit your exit ticket.